Welcome to the Bird Gang Nation Sports Media Show, repping the greatest team of all time. Let's go! Bird Gang 31, he be the host with the most. We going deep, burning teams. They ain't nothing but toast. It's in your rest there. Sirianni put me in coach, running like Miles Sanders Hill. I bumped my head on the post. Touchdown! Yeah, that's coming. Devontae's crazy route running. Jalen hurting them, throwing lasers to Rager, young gunning. Come on! On the D side, we ride, sack him with Fletcher, lay him out on the stretcher. No one can protect you. Watch Darius lay him, shutting down your routes. Come on! In my green John, eating Philly cheesesteaks. Put up your cups, wings up, if you can relate. Tailgating at the link like Gangsta Stride. To the Bird Gang Nation, that's worldwide. On Sundays, catch the pre and post game. Mondays is Birds on Broad Street with Philly Notion and Cool Cat, the man in motion. And Wednesdays, the midweek special got you open with JC from Eagles Talk, hitting like B-Dog, baby.
What is up? What is up? Welcome to another episode of Bird Gang Nation Sports Talk. I'm your host, Bird Gang 31, and I got some very special guests in the building today, Nation. It's the two Eagle Ghosts, some of the best to ever do it. We got LB in the house. We got 500 in the house. Let's get it, guys. How y'all doing today?
What's up? What's up? How you doing, man?
Doing great.
I'm great. I'm wonderful. I'm loving that intro. I'm just wondering when you're going to add Hassan Reddick, AJ Brown. You're going to have to put all those guys in it now.
You got to put Bradbury in there too now.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Hey, I need to talk to Cool Cat. Cool Cat needs to go remake the video because like the song itself, we had Cool Cat make that video, so we're going to add it. We're going to upgrade it.
That's a good video. Shout out to Cool Cat.
Yeah, definitely. Right, sir. So what's up, guys? How y'all doing? Man, the Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Did I go too far?
You said too early right now.
I mean, technically we are. If you talk about the 17 birds,
right?
Technically we are. So you feel like we could chase another one with this roster. With all
I felt like that before Bradbury. I was trying to convince the fans and let them know that hey, it's all good if we don't get nobody else. Straight up, it's all good.
The same way.
If we don't get nobody else, it's all good. You know, we don't even need Bradbury. We don't need none of these cats. I want to see, like I told them, if we got 8 cornerbacks besides Bradbury, before Bradbury even got here, we had 8 cornerbacks. If you can't get a second corner out of those 8, then that means your scouting department needs to get fired. You know, like we picked up guys from Tay Gowan to the bull from LSU. What's his name? Last year we picked him up from LSU.
Jacoby Stevens.
No, not Stevens, their cornerback McCurry or I can't think of the
I know
name.
You're talking about. He's
undrafted
free agent. Yeah.
And then we got the guy from the Colts. I'm like, you know, those are guys we drafted Pearson last year. Second corner? Is that what you're worried about?
But
I think we need a corner.
I think
we needed it.
But see, this is my thing. You needed either corner or safety. You couldn't go into the season, in my opinion, without either one. Okay, Vincent, you couldn't go into this season, in my opinion, without addressing corner or safety. Now, if you would have got Jesse Bates instead of James Bradbury, I would be equally as happy. You know what I mean? Because you got somebody that's solid back there. You're talking about a top 5 safety. But being as though you got Bradbury, you done took this thing to a whole nother level. It's a bunch of people that might not score 20 with the way how nasty this defense is. We play a bunch of teams that probably shouldn't score 3 touchdowns on us.
I think you needed a corner. I couldn't go into the season and just assume that one of these guys is going to make it. I think you needed a corner, and you needed more than you needed a safety, because I think Epps is good enough and capable enough to hold it down. But I think you needed another corner. Now, the fact that you got Bradbury is remarkable, because I was thinking at first more like Xavier Rhodes and stuff like that until Bradbury got cut.
Xavier.
And I think Bradbury is an upgrade from Steven Nelson, and I just think, I mean, to me, right now, I'm ready to go. Like, I don't think this team is going to make another big move. They may, you never know with Howie, but I think they're almost good to go. There are a couple things, like, you know, that I am worried about, but, you know, we'll see what happens.
Do you think you're reaching?
Was
like,
that
really? Do you think you're reaching a little bit? Like, I know how the Eagles fans are when they get to the point where it's like, we need this first, and then we get it, and it's like, we need this, and then we get it, and then we need this. Like, really, when you just left me with the only two positions on our team, second corner and safety, like, get out of here with that. Like, every team needs somebody, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's
but you didn't have any. You didn't have anybody that had played at the NFL, like started at that second corner position. Like, to me, if those guys that we brought in are so good, let them go out and beat James Bradbury. But bring them in, have them in for insurance, and at least, you know, at the very least, you got James Bradbury. If those guys want to come in and they want to beat him out, I'm all for it.
Those guys,
I thought that was such a hole.
It's not the only person on this roster, let's be clear, that can even tie James Bradbury's shoes is Darius Slay. He's on the other side. You got two number one cornerbacks now, and you got two number one wide receivers now.
Yeah.
Listen, I wouldn't have been mad if you didn't get James Bradbury. I'm happy as hell you did, because this is a league where you're only as good as your third wide receiver. You know what I mean? I said this time and time again. There's multiple teams in the National Football League with 3 to 4 good wide receivers on the roster. Right. The Philadelphia Eagles just joined that party. Now what do you need to combat that? You need to have skilled safeties. You talking about guys that can play man and guys that can play zone. The Giants going to tell us that James Bradbury trash. He had a career high in picks last year. You know what I mean?
Right.
The Cowboys going to tell us keep him, right?
Exactly. Mm-hmm. The Cowboys going to tell us that he got burnt by CeeDee Lamb. Well, see, that's when nobody was paying attention to CeeDee Lamb, because you still had Amari Cooper, you had a bunch of other weapons. Listen, man. Listen, I'm telling y'all, the James Bradbury move says that the chips are in the table. I wouldn't even count out Jesse Bates. I wouldn't count it out.
No, I wouldn't count him on either. It's quite possible. Look, listen, this team could do anything right now. Mm-hmm. It would not surprise me if the Eagles have feasted off the mistakes of others all season. From Carolina letting Hassan Reddick go, Titans not wanting to re-sign or give A.J. Brown a contract, to the Giants not being able to work a deal out and keep James Bradbury. We have feasted on these teams' mistakes. And if Cincinnati is going to make the mistake and not sign him to a long-term deal, I'm sure Howie will jump all over that instantly. No question about it.
And the biggest thing is, okay, hold on. Let's go backward for a second. 2017. Is this team right now constructed better than that team?
Yeah.
Constructed? Yes.
Absolutely. Because the bulk of the guys that you acquire and the bulk of the important pieces are guys that are like 25 years old, 24 years old. If it don't work, you're going to be able to keep the majority of this roster. I think James Bradbury going to get re-signed. You're going to be able to keep the majority of this roster. And then if you don't re-sign James Bradbury, you're going to get a comp pick. Howie Roseman is a genius. He's a genius. You get a comp pick if Bradbury goes somewhere else. That's at least a 4th-round pick.
Mm-hmm.
Howie Roseman is a genius, man. I mean, this team is the best team that I've seen in Philadelphia Eagles history on paper. The thing about the dream team, well, I don't know. Those McNabb teams were good. Those McNabb teams were good. And the only reason why I got to say some of the McNabb teams might have been better is because McNabb was better than Jalen Hurts. It depends on what Jalen Hurts does too, because he's a part of this team too. Depends on what Jalen Hurts does.
That 04 team with Owens and Kearse, like that is the same. Like, this is the equivalent all season for me as that. Like, you know, the whole dream team thing. I hate saying that word. Like I never bought into it because they were all 30-plus-year-old guys.
Yeah.
So I didn't like it. 2017. Yeah. 2017 was built to win in a 2-year window, and they won one of them, but they weren't able to sustain it long term. This team is built for 5-6 years down the road.
This team is
built. Not to mention, you got 2 number 1s still for next year.
Facts.
This team is built to win a division for the next 4 years.
Yeah.
The next 4 years, we should win a division. That's even if you get rid of Jalen Hurts next year. Jalen Hurts should win a division this year. You know what I mean? Jalen Hurts has to be looking at this like, I need to get paid. They put all this around me. I should be getting paid. He need to be playing for a contract, if you ask me.
Jalen Hurts, even if he's no better, if he's no better than he was a year ago, if he's the same Jalen Hurts as we got a year ago, they should still win 11 games. Because they got an easier schedule and they got a better roster. If the guy's improved and is better, you're talking, I think, NFC Championship game, at least.
He don't have to be Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson to get this done. He don't. All he has to do is develop the arm of a Jimmy Garoppolo. I've been saying it all offseason. If he can get his arm to the level of Jimmy G, the Philadelphia Eagles could probably go to the Super Bowl. Just give me a Jimmy G arm. Yeah, that's it.
You know what the problem with the Cowboy fans are? They keep talking about Bradbury and keep putting up clips about Bradbury. Do they not realize that CeeDee Lamb's got to go against Darius Slay? Darius Slay is the number 1, not the number 2.
A lot of them don't understand football either. You want to keep putting up these stats about Bradbury. What about Diggs? Diggs is getting burnt all over the place. That's number 1. See, when the pressure don't get home for a good cornerback, he only got about 5-6 seconds to make something happen on the ball. Bradbury played on a bad team that couldn't produce pressure. Diggs played on a good team that could produce pressure. But when Micah Parsons didn't get home, Diggs was on a silver platter getting smoked. You know what I mean? That'll go for any cornerback. You can't have these guys covering for 8 seconds.
And maybe the Cowboys led the league in turnovers, but they're still like an overall defense, like 20th, 21st in the league. Like, that's not a good defense. Just because you led the league in turnovers don't make you a great defense. You know what I'm saying? Like,
dudes were marching up and down the field on them.
Facts. But now you guys made me think. I know you guys are Hurts season, right? Because I feel like we're some of the biggest Hurts fans there are out there. Hurts will definitely make this jump from year 1 to year 2. Like, no one's ever seen the man. And I think that everybody thinks all these moves put so much more pressure on Hurts. And I really think it takes pressure off of Hurts. Because the simple fact is, he's going to be able to be in a comfortable situation, going into a situation he feels more familiar with. You never, ever, no one can say since high school they've ever seen Jalen Hurts play the same offense. Same, offensive coordinator, same type of offense. This is going to be the first year ever. And he's 23 years old. I think this year is definitely one of those years that Jalen Hurts is really going to shock the world. I got Hurts MVP candidate this year.
It's not unlikely the game should slow down for him. Like you said, he's in the system again. You put a great defense around a guy who's looking to make a jump. That spells success as well, because it's going to be numerous games this season where Jalen Hurts only got to outscore guys that are only going to be able to put up close to 20 points on us, because the defense is going to be so savage. In fact, this defense should win you 3 games, 3 to 4 games. The defense alone should just be so dominant that guys like Carter don't know which way to look. You know what I mean? We only play 1 elite quarterback this year. Like, I think the defense wins you 3 games alone.
Yeah, might very well could.
You know what I mean? We're looking at a team that can have a 3-pick game. We ain't had that in a long time in Philly. Yeah. You know what I mean? We're looking at a team that can have us a 7-sack game. We're looking at dominance, man. I cannot wait for this to start, man. I get excited talking about it.
Now, when you guys talk about this Eagles team right now, I know a lot of the NFC East people like us to keep the narrative, are we the best in the NFC East? I'm talking about we're top 5 to me in the whole NFL. How do you guys feel about that?
You can take that one, Philly.
I think I'll say that I think they could be top 5 in the conference. I'm not going to sit there and I can't say they're the top 5 in the NFL yet. I have to see Like, it looks good on papers, but we got to see it on the field. And I think that they should win the division. And what I expect out of them is to win the division, get a home playoff game, and win that. But I gotta see how everything comes together. I gotta see Jalen Hurts improve. I've got to see the coaching staff improve. I got to see Jonathan Gannon improve. I got to see these things before I can say they're top 5 in the NFL. I think they're top 5 in the conference. I think they're the best in the division, but I can't say top 5 in the NFL. There's some good teams on that AFC West that are really good.
I agree.
So,
I'm going to have to agree with that. I'll say we're like a top 8 to top team in the National Football League. You know what I mean? Roster wise, top 5 in the conference for sure. But you got to think about the other teams in the AFC. Are we better than Buffalo? Probably not. You know what I mean? Buffalo been playing at a high level for a long time, but we did leapfrog some teams. We leapfrogged the Cardinals, in my opinion. We leapfrogged Tennessee. You know what I mean? They lost AJ Brown to us. I think we leapfrogged Dallas. So we're definitely moving up there in the ranks as far as roster talent goes. So, yeah, man, I mean, I'll give us top 8 in the NFL.
That's good even still. And top 5 in the conference, top 8 overall. I just go down, let's talk about it. Trio receivers. Where do you rank us? Quez Watkins going into his 3rd year. You've seen the jump from year 1 to year 2 from a person that didn't play to a person that has produced 700 yards. You know what I'm saying? Going into year 3, still training. We still see Quez Watkins videos out there. Devontae Smith, rookie, had to be number 1, getting double coverage. Number 1 receivers all year long. AJ Brown's on the squad now. He's not going to see very many double coverages this year. Dallas Goedert, go on and on. You know what I'm saying, with these receivers. So, but just the top 3 guys in terms of Quest, Devontae, and AJ Brown, where you guys rank them?
In the NFL or conference or division?
NFL.
I've got to think about that for a while.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
I have to go through every team. They're definitely the best in the division.
Okay,
gotta be top 5 in the conference. I'll say top 10 in the NFL for right now. I have to go through every team. I'm thinking of Bucks, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. I have to go through all these teams, but I'll say at least top 10.
The Raiders are nasty now with Henry Renfrow and Devontae Adams. The Rams are nasty. Didn't they get the guy from Chicago?
Yeah, and they got Cooper Kupp. I mean,
probably
one of the best in the league last year. So, I mean,
but even if you go like the Raiders, Cooper, that's Devontae Adams, Renfrow, right? That's what you're talking about. He's pretty good. And then
it's another guy, right?
You have to throw
they got that tight end,
which would be Waller, right?
Yeah.
I'm saying just off our 3 receivers. You know what I'm saying? If you want to throw Goddard in there, you got to go top 4 players that you got in position.
Yeah, I'm saying, who's the Raiders' 3rd receiver? I thought they picked somebody else up.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm gonna look that up.
Who the Raiders?
I mean, you look Miami. Miami's loaded at receiver.
Miami's loaded. Waddle.
They're definitely Waddle. Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill and Waddle together just alone.
Yeah. So I think best
Chargers
in the division.
Loaded.
Yeah, Chargers are loaded. Top 5 in the conference, and I'll say top 10 in the NFL. But a lot of upside, like tremendous amount of upside.
Definitely.
How much better does Jalen Hurts need to be for you guys in order us to be considered Super Bowl contenders? Like how much better than what he did? Because you got to remember, he was 6th overall last year in terms of production from any quarterback in their first year starting.
Statistical wise, here's what I'll say, right? And I'm going to keep this real, and I'm going to be honest. There were games where Hurts was horrible into the 4th quarter, and then he got yards and touchdowns, and it helped his stats. There were games where he had like 80 yards going into the 4th quarter. But he got better, I thought, from the Chargers game on. He kind of took a jump. Okay, so what I need to see from Hurts this year, I need to see him win some games with his arm. I want to see him win some games with his arm. I want to see the Eagles be down 10-0 in the fourth or 10 points in the fourth quarter and him come back and win. To me, those are the kind of things, if I see it, then I'll say, yeah, he's the next guy. I don't know statistic-wise. I say if he gets 25 passing touchdowns or more, close to 4,000 yards, then he's probably deserves a contract extension.
I think at the end of this season, Jalen Hurts is going to lead the Philadelphia Eagles in passing yards for a season. It's going to be it's going to be the most ironic thing ever because everybody's saying he can't pass, but I think he's going to have a franchise record for passing yards. It's only 4,000 and something yards. It's not even 4,100 yards.
That'll probably get him extension.
Exactly.
Then he'll probably get it.
Exactly. It's not a lot. It's not hard to do. You know what I mean? With the weapons that they put around him. Carson Wentz broke it in 2019, I believe. I think it was like 4,089 yards or something wild like that. He can easily do that with this roster. If he does that, and if he gets you 25 to 30 touchdown passes, 10 picks, you know he's good for 500 yards on the ground. I want to see less yardage on the ground, me personally. I want to see him running for about like 400 yards the whole season. I want him running like how Patrick Mahomes runs. Patrick Mahomes only runs if it's for a first down. We ain't running just to run. Other than that, we stand in the pocket and we looking downfield. You got to stay in the pocket with this receiving core. If you're not going to stay in the pocket, hand it off to a running back. We don't got time to see him going out there running because I'm telling you right now, if he go out there running, he get hurt. With this roster, Gardner Minshew can make a name for himself.
Minshew could win this division with this roster.
Wow,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Anybody can do it with this roster. That's the point that I'm making.
They're loaded.
So if he go out there and get hurt, he ain't doing himself no favors. So he got to be mindful of that as well. Anybody, Ryan Fitzpatrick, can come out here and do damage with this roster.
But what do you think about the whole core? Like, because I believe Jalen's still young, 23, about to be 24.
Yeah, he is.
Let him do the running because you heard Miles Sanders last year talk about how when Jalen's in the game, that helps their running game out. That's why people failed to realize that's why we were number one rushing last year. It's because of Jalen Hurts. And the pressure that he took off linebackers to the other running backs. So why would you want to stop that?
I want him to run when the play breaks down. I don't want designed run. I don't want him keeping the ball. I mean, he already had ankle surgery this year, right? He already had ankle surgery. Usually what you want to do with these guys that can run, you want to have them each year do it less and less. I mean, you've got more targets now with A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Goddard. So you have more stuff in the passing game opening up. I say run the ball the same amount to your running backs, cut down on his runs, and use those extra plays to throw the ball. And I don't want him getting banged up. I really don't.
Yeah, I'm okay with a run to the sideline and pick up a first run out of bounds real quick to keep a drive going. I'm okay. But the design quarterback counter or quarterback keeper, I'm not cool with that at all, man. I mean, you got way too many weapons to be designing runs. We had to stoop down to that level because we had guys like Jalen Reagor getting the absolute most playing time, in the world. So you're not really getting no production from the passing game. But it would behoove the Philadelphia Eagles to keep this guy in the pocket and show everybody.
Now, I'm not saying never to not run him. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying don't ever run him or don't let him run. I'm just saying cut down on it. You got to cut down on it, and you got to rely more on his arm. That's what I think you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that comes with experience, Like, I hated how everybody was saying at the end of last year, how he was, he couldn't read the defense in the playoffs. Like, hello, Todd Bowles one of the best defensive coordinators in the league. If he can't read his defense, he shouldn't be able to read his defense if it is his first year as a professional quarterback. That's why Todd Bowles gets paid the big bucks. He's the best at what he do. And the fact that people made such a huge deal about it, like, yes, you want him to read it, but it's his first year. Like I said, to me, him being 6th overall all time is enough for me to be on his board, on Team Hurts forever. Now. We've seen him overcome adversity before. The Alabama thing, go to OU, and now you're Heisman Trophy candidate, 4,000 yards, 1,000 yards rushing. You know what I'm saying? He shows the resilience. He shows that he comes back the next year and becomes something special.
My thing is this, though. You also had a slew of touchdowns called back or dropped on the season as well. So you want to you can't really sneeze at the 16 touchdown passes when 11 were dropped or called back. You talking about game-winning touchdowns being dropped. In my opinion, he was a 10-win quarterback if you don't drop the Reagor touchdown. And he's a guy he's a guy who's from his arm to other receivers have hit them in the hands at least 25 times, but some of them got called back. So, you know, once the team, now you have a more disciplined team. A.J. Brown knows little nuances of the game, especially running a pick play. Devontae Smith going into his second year now. Your coach got some experience. You're going to cut down on giving snaps to guys like Jalen Reagor, who sometimes have a memory block or whatever's going on with him. You're going to have more established people on the field, so less mistakes can occur from an offensive standpoint. You know what I mean? Derek Barnett is not going to be in the fold running around getting late hit penalties. A lot of stuff is going to be different. There's going to be composed, polished players on the field on both sides of the ball at all times at a rate we never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I'll say. Like, and I said this about like pretty much any quarterback in the first year as a starter. Like, I always look at it, and this is how I look at Hurts. What he did last year was the starting point. Like, that's his starting point. That's where he is. That's, you know, going into the offseason, that's, you know, the things that he needs to work on are things he needs to work on. To me, it's about what he does this year, the progression from year one to year two. I was not hard on Hurts at all, because to me, this is the starting point. Now, what is he going to do to improve and be better than last year? That's what I'm looking for in Jalen Hurts this year. And I think he's got all the makings to do it. I'm expecting him to go out and have a big year.
The one thing that I really want him to do and focus on, which I don't think is going to happen, to be honest, because you gave him all of these vertical weapons. He's going to keep his eyes down the field a lot this year. He's going to take some chances this year, as he should. You got the personnel to do so. I want him to start just taking what the defense gives him. Like you got to hit those running backs in those flats and let them get that yards after carry. You got to sometimes take the check down. He don't do that a lot. And I hope he picked that up from being around Tom Brady this offseason, because Leonard Fournette, I think, had damn near 50 receptions out of the backfield last year. Leonard Fournette killed us. He killed us personally.
Like 15 of them were on us.
You know what I mean?
He killed us one-on-one. That's what the game was about for me.
Right. He killed us personally. As soon as we sagged off and gave him 8 yards of carry, it became the Leonard Fournette show. 8 yards of separation, it became the Leonard Fournette show. And Jalen Hurts got to be able to go out there and diagnose that. Teams not going to give Jalen Hurts 8 yards cushion. They're going to play press man and make him throw in the tight windows. So the running back and the passing game becomes that much more important for Jalen Hurts this upcoming season.
Fact. Now, do you think that our linebacking core, let's talk about this for a little bit. Because my theory was, if you had better linebackers last year, our defense looks a lot better, it plays a lot better. I believe the linebackers helps the front end and the back end, you know. And our best linebacker was T.J. Edwards, and I believe that he is a bottom half of the league linebacker starting. You know, so adding these three pieces, the Kaiser White, you know, the Riddick and the Nakobe Dean, did that help our defense move to that next level in itself?
You got one of the most. It's hard to explain. I can't even find the right words. I don't want to jump and say we got one of the best linebacking cores, but I think Hassan Reddick is going to have his hands in the dirt quite a lot, rushing the passer. I mean, he had 23.5 sacks the last 2 years. But you got one of those linebacking cores now that can do almost anything. You got coverage guys. You got tacklers. You got the best linebacking core in the division? It's arguable.
I love it. I think this is the best linebacking core the Eagles had since Crowder and Carlos Emmons. So, I mean, I think it's greatly improved. And, yeah, I think they're going to be a lot better. Where I also think they're really going to help the Eagles is blitzing. Like you're going to be able to blitz Nakobe Dean a lot more, I think, than you could blitz Alex Singleton or these other guys. So I'm expecting Nakobe Dean to come in, start and blitz a lot. And then, of course, Hassan Reddick, they're going to be using him all over the place. I think you'll see him as an edge rusher. I think you'll see him, as a Sam linebacker at times. I think they're going to move him all over the place, which is going to be really interesting.
Now, do you think that Nakobe Dean will play a lot better? Like, I always tell everybody, if we drafted Nakobe Dean where everybody wanted to draft him in the first place, 15 or 18, you know, we would have all been on board for Nakobe Dean at 15 and 18 before the news came out, before the draft. You know what I'm saying? We were all on board. Now, if we would have drafted him there and he come and play this year, you know, it would have been a good football player, obviously. But I feel like the fact that we drafted him in the third round, he got to see all them other linebackers get drafted before him. he's going to play a little bit harder this year for us and become that more better of a player.
I think Nakobe Dean is a day one starter. I think you would do yourself a disservice if you don't put him on the field immediately. I think he trumps TJ Edwards already. I mean, TJ Edwards is a guy on the come up, but Nakobe Dean comes from a special brass of guys with IQ at the position. The only player that it's crazy, man. I've been looking for guys to compare Nakobe Dean to, and his ceiling is Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis is bigger, obviously, but the IQ of Ray Lewis is like nobody else at the position. Nakobe Dean at the collegiate level, yes, it's the collegiate level. The IQ is ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous, man. A lot of people forgetting who Nakobe Dean is, man. The Buckets Award winner, man. He's the most intriguing pick in the draft to me because he's at a position that we were dying to get resolved. You got your linebacker for the next 10 years, and people having concerns about his height and weight. Pause. We don't do that. We don't judge men by that. We judge men by the work they put in on the field. I don't care how small he is. He put in work. Hello, this Philly. AI put in work, right?
Dean highlights, you see him like diagnose the play before they even hike the ball. He's already running full speed towards where the play is going to end up at. You know,
this was so neat, man. Obviously, I'm a military guy. I saw one play. Nakobe Dean looked up over at the offensive line from the defensive side, called the play, looking like a drill sergeant, bro. Everybody turned around, look at him. Okay, I got it. Then they hiked the ball. Then he go get the tackle. I'm like, dude is a hunter, yo. So he saw the play before the ball was even snapped.
The 199 super chat. He said, "I just need Herbert to scrub his social already." Facts, man. Much love. Thanks for
why. What did he do now?
But yeah, Nakobe Dean. I think people are really sleeping on him. I hate how they say he wasn't the best linebacker last year when he won a award of being the best linebacker last year. They say that doesn't mean anything, but it's like you played on one of the greatest defenses ever. And every last one of those first round picks that got drafted from Georgia all said that he was the captain. You know, they followed that dude. You know,
they only say that he's not the best when he comes to the Eagles. If he was drafted by the Cowboys, he would be the greatest linebacker to come out since the beginning of time. They always screw us when it comes to us doing anything good. Everybody is automatically not as good as you thought when it comes to Philly. It happens all the time.
It's a lot of Cowboys rhetoric being spewed around right now around the internet. Which is why I'm keeping my foot on their neck on Twitter, because they're gonna learn one thing about us this offseason, that we listen. We're not coming to play with Dallas this year. I'm telling y'all, we're gonna break Dallas' heart. I'm telling y'all, man. Week 6, we're gonna break Dallas' heart. We're gonna put them in a place.
Jordan Davis.
I think Nakobe Dean's plug and play. I just want to say that he starts day one, plug and play.
If he don't buckle in for a long season, because Gannon still has not figured it out.
I agree.
If week 1 against the Detroit Lions, if Nakobe Dean ain't out there, that's the perfect game to have Nakobe Dean start his career. You know what I mean? Let him get the speed of the game down. It's Jared Goff. You know, if he ain't out there getting starter quality reps, then it's a coaching issue at this point.
Facts. Now, Jordan Davis, I'm one to think that this guy can be a game changer. You know, not this year because we don't need him to be this year, but by, next year when Fletcher Cox moves on, game changer then. But even this year, like the size, you can't teach that size. 6'8", 345. This is like new charted, material here. Like no one's been this big, this athletic ever, out of the draft, they say. So how big of an impact do you think this guy can make for a football team?
Oh, he can change the way offenses play you. I mean, he can dominate. When it comes to potential and like ceiling, this kid could be one of the greats. I mean, he's got that kind of potential. The thing with him is going to be he's going to have to fight his way. He's going to have to stay in shape, and he's going to have to do those things. He even said himself, 340 was too heavy. He needs to get down to 330. He may need to go down to around 325. But if he stays in shape, works hard, learns to become a better pass rusher, you could have one of the dominant defensive tackles in the league for a long time.
My floor for Jordan Davis is Fletcher Cox. Whoa. I don't think he's going to be any worse than Fletcher Cox.
I like
you know what I mean? If Fletcher Cox is one of the greatest Eagles of all time, for real, for real. My floor is Fletcher Cox. I mean, the reason my floor is Fletcher Cox is because you granted him the opportunity to play with Fletcher Cox at least 1 year. He's going to learn a lot from Fletcher Cox. By the time Fletcher Cox decides to hang it up, Jordan Davis would have soaked up a lot of game from Hargrave and Fletcher Cox. So my floor is Fletcher Cox. The ceiling could be Warren Sapp or greater. You know what I mean? You just it could be anything. This guy has the most athletic ability from the position that we've ever seen, based upon his 40 time alone. You're talking about a guy who, if he can keep his weight down like 500 said, can disengage from the line of scrimmage and chase down a running back from the backside, from the D tackle position.
But he was doing that at 360.
Exactly. And he will be blocking out the sun for a lot of quarterbacks when he pushing that pile in your pocket at 6'6". The sky's the limit for the kid.
And you know what's interesting is Nakobe Dean played behind him for all those years in college. Now he gets to do it in the NFL. I think that's a big advantage, too, coming out of college, to have played with somebody in front and kind of know what to expect from them, you know?
Hey, shout out to Mattel. He says, as much as I love this team, I can't trust Jalen Hurts. Haven't seen anything to prove he can be our franchise quarterback.
He's gonna have to. He's gonna prove it.
You're gonna have to. I mean, what you gonna do? All the moves we made, you're gonna go into the season sad, or you're gonna go into the season optimistic. You better hope he make the leap, because NFC Championship appearance rides on it, in my opinion.
I agree.
You think that this team has done the most you've ever seen for any quarterback? You bring his best friend in. You draft a guy from his college last year. You know what I'm saying? You're surrounding him with all this nice young talent. Is this the most you've seen an Eagles organization do for their quarterback?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I think so. I mean, it took them years to get McNabb help. If they had got McNabb help 3-4 years earlier before TO, they would have won a couple Super Bowls. So to me, yeah, I think this is the most help I've ever seen the Eagles give a quarterback. This is 100%.
This is the most help I've seen the Eagles give the city of Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I've never seen them take care of us like this. Everything we complain about, we got. He listened to the fans. He listened to his quarterback. He listened to the team. He listened to his defensive coordinator. Howie Roseman pleased everybody. We always saying we were fighting since the season ended. We were fighting. What's the priority here? Another veteran wide receiver or a dominant cornerback opposite Slay? We got both. Then we were saying, are we going to be able to ever get a linebacker? Got that guy too. I was good with Kaiser White and Hassan Reddick. Then you go and draft Nakobe Dean. This team is everything we asked them for. And Jordan Davis is just the icing on the cake to me. You know what I mean? You went and got Kelsey's replacement. You stashed another first-round pick for next year. I think we're on board saying we should do that. What didn't they do? Jesse Bates will be spoiling us at this point. Spoil me. Spoil me.
Yeah. Agreed.
Shout out to you, Stiegel fan 568 with the $1 super sticker or chat. Doesn't say anything, but much love to you. Thanks for supporting the channel. Hit that like, guys. We're over 100. Let's see if we get this to 150. We got 270 in here. Shout out to all you guys. Much love to you guys. Make sure you subscribe to LB Philly 500. I know most of you guys probably are coming from their locations, but if you're not subscribed to the other, make sure you go do that. Also, hit up LB's music channel. It is growing fast, man. Make sure you guys are part of that as well. You know, Philly representing Philly all the time. That Jordan Davis can be 2 down.
Jordan Davis can only play 2 downs.
No.
Here we go.
He's scared. He's a Cowboys fan. That's what they've been
doing. What do you guys think about that, though? Because they say he only played 30% of the defense at Georgia. I say they had too much talent. He didn't really have to play. And whenever they played anybody that was worth anything, all the meaningful downs Jordan Davis played. So that's all you really need to worry about.
Wait, what award did Jordan get? He won an award too in college, didn't he?
Did he?
What was he? Yeah, he was an award winner too this year. I forget what award it was. Somebody in the chat will tell us, but he won a defensive award too. So to me, you know, when I hear people say he can only play 2 downs, and then you go look at him and how athletic he is and what a talent he is, it's just ridiculous. Okay, the reason why he only played 2 downs was because they're loaded. They They rotated their guys out. How come Travon Walker goes number 1 overall? He only had 5 sacks as a defensive end. Right. 5 sacks isn't a lot. It's because they were so loaded defensively. Jordan Davis has to be in better shape. He has to get better at rushing the passer. He's raw when it comes to that. However, you can't tell me a guy that athletic, that talented, can only be a 2-town guy. That's insane talk. He'll get there.
Defensive tackles don't play every snap of every game. All of those guys get rotated. He's going to get rotated here.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I think he could take a triple team from Alabama. You know what I'm saying? Like Alabama, one of the best offenses in there.
They said he won the Chuck the Concrete Charlie Award.
Yeah. You watch that triple team, all he did was plant his right foot back and he turned the whole triple team and he was free again. Like a man that size that can do stuff like that in college, I know it's college, but these NFL linemen come from college. So they're the same type caliber players, you know, like he played with the best of the best already. So I think this guy's definitely going to be a dramatic impact that people don't even understand. You know, like you said, Fletcher Cox didn't even come out this. He's not this big for one, and he wasn't even that athletic coming out of college. And we love Fletcher Cox. He done great things for the Eagles. So, yes, Jordan Davis' ceiling is definitely very high. And I want to see what happens this year. Yeah, don't sleep on JG's. There's a reason he's getting offered for head coach.
What was the reason?
Donnell, what's the reason? Because I really feel like that defense last year was a good defense. If we just horrible, had crappy linebackers. Like imagine
Jonathan Gannon was the reason why that defense was as bad as it was. I'm gonna call a spade, man. He gave up 80% completion percentage to like 6 different quarterbacks. I'm never going to get over that. He had Fletcher Cox in the flats.
Yeah,
that was the reason he was the reason that defense was so bad. At one point, he refused to blitz. He got scared. And stopped blitzing. Darius Slay is supposed to be in the chest of the number 1 wide receiver, not playing 5 yards off for some vanilla scheme. Jonathan Gannon is the scariest person. Everybody worrying about Jalen Hurts. I'm worrying about Jonathan Gannon, man. He got a superstar defense on his hands. What is he going to do with it? Because I want to see 3-4 defense. I want to see 4-3 defense. I want to see 52 defense. I want to see a whole slew of mix. I want to see everything mixed up. We should not be predictable at all, man.
Do you know what the Chuck Bednarik Award is?
What's it for?
The Chuck Bednarik Award is presented to the best defensive player in college football. The best defensive player in college football.
So his award,
he won the best defensive player in collge football.
That award is higher than the Kobe Dean's because the Kobe Dean's just the best linebacker. The Bucket Award.
That's right.
I didn't even know that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's awesome.
So you're going to tell me the best college player the best defensive player in college football that comes to professional rankings can't play more than 2 downs? I'm supposed to believe that? I don't think so.
No, they want us to believe that.
Charles Davies said the first half of the Dallas game, 2 things killed our defense: the run game and the tight ends. We fixed both. Jalen made mistakes. We just the deep throws. We're just the 3 deep throws. We can dunk whole time. Game is closer. Huh?
Saw first half of the Dallas game. 2 things killed our defense: the run game and the tight end. We fixed both. What was wrong with tight end?
Well, if you're talking about, you're talking about the first game. They were completely different. They were a completely different team when they played Dallas the first time. They didn't even try to run the ball. They were trying to do things. The second game, they sat their starters. I can't give Dallas credit for beating 3rd string players. I'm sorry, I just can't.
They won it. They won it.
I know.
I think we should have played our starters that game to prevent them from sweeping the division. And go and try to go after double-digit wins. We had something to play for too.
Yeah.
Well, the way we played versus Tampa Bay, we should have played our starters.
And really didn't help either game because our coaches didn't even know what they were doing that game, the first game. You know, we didn't get our identity to the Lions game. You know, where they realized that they need to go out there and run the ball a lot more than what they were doing. So that first Dallas game is kind of like a fluke to me.
Yeah, but in 2016 we beat Dallas. I think it was the last game of the year. Dallas sat their starters because they were like number 1 seed or something.
Yeah,
and we played and we won. And the whole off season, I did not give us credit. I did not count that. I said Dallas sat their starters. They sat their starters. Now it's reversed, and they're like, "Oh no, you have to count it." It's not fair. You can't.
They don't even want to talk about the massacre that occurred the last game of the season in 2019 for the division with all the chips on the line. They don't want to talk about that. That's why I wish to this day that Miles Sanders would have ran that last touchdown in.
Can you imagine this if Dak Prescott was the quarterback of the Eagles? He's been there for 7 years. He's won 1 playoff game. He's choked 2 playoff games at home. We would kill him if he was an Eagle. Dallas is they're chokers. They'll choke again if they even make it to the playoffs this year, which I'm not sure they're going to.
So LB, give me a minimum number for Jalen Hurts to be the future.
4,000 passing yards. 4,000 passing yards. That's it. Over 4,000 passing yards, and you the future. Because they don't think you could do it. That's it. Listen, Kyler Murray's never thrown over 4,000 passing yards. And people like to convince me that Kyler Murray is top 10. You know what I mean? If Jalen Hurts can get to 4,000 passing yards, that's a leap. You're talking about, 800 yards, 900 yards of extra passing yards? That's
how many would you think he could have got last year if he added those missed drops and touchdown calls back? Give me your prediction. What you think Jalen Hurts' stats should have been for the year?
He would have definitely been around like 3,600. Definitely. Because 2 touchdowns that got called back was 50-yard bombs. One guy stepped out of bounds on one side of the field. I think it was Rager. On the other side of the field, Devontae Smith stepped out of bounds. Quez dropped like a 45-yard bomb at the end of the half in the Broncos game. That was a touchdown. You know what I mean? It was a lot of drops on a lot of his deep balls. And if a lot of those deep balls were completed, the tape on Jalen Hurts would be different at the end of the year. People wouldn't have so many questions about if he could stretch the field. A lot of his best throws were dropped last year.
That's fact. Remember that one at Goddard? He had like 90 yards he could have ran if he would have caught the ball. Yeah. It was wide open from just taking off.
You talking about the Tampa Bay game?
Yeah.
In the playoffs, yeah.
Yeah.
And that stopped the bleeding. We had the punt after that.
I think if Hurts has 25 plus touchdowns throwing, so if he gets 25 or more passing touchdowns, and he gets between 39 and 4,100 yards passing, and then let's say another 5 to 8, and that's low rushing touchdowns, I think he gets an extension. I think you got to keep him, and I think you pay him.
Yeah, because you don't have to pay him the max either.
Right.
You don't got to pay him. You don't got to pay him a Deshaun Watson bag.
Do you do it this season or do you wait till next year?
I would do it this season.
It'll be
if he puts those numbers. I would do it right away as soon as the season's over.
You know how he likes to get in front of things like that. If he wins a playoff game and has the numbers that Philly 500 said, he's getting extended because all of those guys are young and going to want to run it back. He's getting extended. They're going to want to run it back if they win. If they win this division and they win a playoff game, everybody's going to want to return. I think Kelsey will even come back one more year, depending on how far we go.
David said, Cowboys run game and tight end killed us. We fixed both issues on the defense to help stop that. Sorry.
Oh, I see what he's saying. Dalton Schultz. He's talking about Dalton Schultz, how he killed us.
Yeah. But do you think that's the biggest difference from the way how he did it this year as opposed to that 17 year? You know what I'm saying? Like he did it with veterans then, and now we're doing it with all these young players that can be around for a long time.
Yeah, he did it with older guys. He did it with Alshon Jeffrey, Torrey Smith. They were all kind of older at the end of their career, and they all had one good year really left, maybe 2 good years. Right now, you're doing it with a bunch of young guys. I mean, A.J. Brown's 24, Jordan Davis and Nakobe Dean, they're rookies. Cam Jurgens, young guy. So Hassan Reddick, 27, 28 years old. So you're doing it with young guys. So you're doing it for the long term. See, what Howie did was, and it's hard to do, is he managed to build for the future and also build to compete next year. And the NFC conference is not that good. It's not as strong as it's been in the past. So I think it's wide open, man. It's wide open.
Yeah, it's a little top heavy. When you're talking about impressive rosters in the NFC, the only thing that come to mind to me is Tampa Bay and the Rams. Everybody else is just not that impressive to me. Aaron Rodgers lost his guy. That dude on the West Coast now. That dude is in the AFC.
Back that people aren't realizing. That's gonna be huge. I think that's gonna be huge. Devontae Adams is another breed of receiver. You know, you don't teach the size, the physicality, and the route running that a guy like that, does for Aaron Rodgers. So he actually makes Aaron Rodgers better too. I think that's why he realized I can go to David Carr, my college roommate, and make him look better too as well. With my production here. So, yeah, man, it's crazy, man. I think that AJ Brown really opened up this offense. He's gonna bring a whole nother level to this offense. Like I said, everybody's got to play a little bit lesser talent this year. For one, you got Nick Sirianni. He can scheme an extra guy in there. The big physical receiver that we wanted. Like how he played this whole off season when everybody was hating on him, saying he's not doing nothing. He played like a wizard. Like he made magic happen. That's how I feel. Who thought all this? Who thought N'Kobe Dean in the third round? We still got Jordan Davis. We got our backup center for years to come. Who thought any of this was going to happen this offseason? Who thought the Reddick was coming? Who thought Kaiser White was coming? Who thought the Eagles were going to even pay attention to the linebacker position this offseason? Because everybody thought, oh, they're not going to touch it because they don't normally touch it. They did more than touch it. They made it legit. And our whole roster is legit right now. And the only one thing that I can think of is safety. And I'm willing to even let Kayvon or Epps fight that out. Save some money for later on in case you got to pay hers. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, I
safety position.
What's that?
Safety position in a nutshell for me is it's about opportunity, man. It's about who's going to step up to the plate because you don't have to be an all-star to make your bones in this safety room with the Philadelphia Eagles because everything else is sewn up for you on the levels that's in front of you. So if Epps could come out here and get more time and be productive, Epps could find himself getting extended somewhere. You know what I mean? This is supposed to be Kayvon Wallace's coming out year, man. This is supposed to be the year that Kayvon Wallace emerges.
What do you guys think about that? They don't talk about him about linebackers. They don't talk about him about safeties. But I did notice one thing at the end of every Eagles game last year, when you seen him walking back to the locker room, that dude got bigger and bigger and bigger. By the end of the season, he was ripped. Like, he's been putting in that work. You know what I'm saying? What do you think about him? He's, leader at LSU. What do you think about him? Do you think they move him back to safety this year? Do you think they keep him at the linebacker spot? Or you think they're just going to cut him anyway?
For me, guys like that, just, I'm like, all right, he's a guy he played at LSU, maybe has some talent. But I got to see it on the field first. I just can't tell you. I haven't seen enough of him yet to tell you what he can be. But, that's what preseason's for. We'll see what some of these guys do. To me, it's too early to tell.
Yeah, it's too early to tell. Was this his third year here? Second year here?
Second year.
Yeah,
he got it
last year, right?
Yeah.
He was a rookie last year?
Yeah. He just got drafted last year.
Oh, it seemed like he been here way longer than that.
He picked up free agent.
Yeah.
Maybe because he be tweeting so damn much, I thought he was here longer.
I'm going to tell you one other concern I have on defense. And safety is definitely one. But the other one is I worry about who is going to be the other contributor to sacks besides Hassan Reddick. I think Hassan Reddick's going to get double digits. We got Brandon Graham coming back from an Achilles injury. We don't know how good he's going to be. Derek Barnett stinks. So I need Josh Sweat to step up this year. I need Josh Sweat to get me between 7 to 10 sacks. If he can do that with Hassan Reddick, I think that they'll be fine. But I do worry about the other contributor at defensive end besides Hassan Reddick and sacks. And here's another thing. It would not surprise me, I'm throwing this out there, if the Eagles went out and brought in another defensive end, like a Jadeveon Clowney or something. And that would be the move that we don't see.
That would be too much.
I don't think it'll be too much. It's
never really too much, but I'm just saying, like, wow, you bring Clowney in here.
Why not?
here.
Why not? And let Carson Wentz know he's coming.
Every show, I'll be like, Eagles win the Super Bowl. I don't care what anybody says. Like, it's a wrap.
I need Josh Sweat to have 7-10 sacks. Josh Sweat had 7.5 last year. He did, but he started slow. He needs a better start.
Listen, Clowney
it's rumored Mark Holmes is going to play Bill Murray in 2002 spinoff of the classic movie Groundhog Day. This time it will be about delusional Cowboy fans waking up to the same Super Bowl fantasies.
Yeah.
Jadeveon Clowney would be a crazy piece now that you think about it.
Surprise.
It would be a surprise, but you talking about having one of the best defensive lines in the league now. You talking about if you bring Jadeveon Clowney in here, where do you rank
our defensive line right now? What other defensive line got 2 stacks? We can go 2 deep.
Yeah,
at every position.
Wait.
I know you guys hate on Barnett. Everybody hates Barnett.
Barnett's
a good football player. He's not great.
He's a good football player. I agree with you.
He's a good football player. He has the most horrible horrible timing in terms of penalties.
I can't do it. I'm sure he's a nice guy. I would love to have a beer with him, but he stinks.
I don't think nobody could be that bad twice in a row. I think they kind of did the right thing by bringing him back.
The only move I didn't like.
Williams next year.
Say that again.
He said in Milt Williams. He said, "Don't forget Milt Williams."
Milt Williams is a guy I keep forgetting about. He may be another guy that steps up that I keep forgetting about.
Off of that edge.
But, yeah,
and I think middle. He's very versatile.
Yeah.
Now you got to say our offense and defensive line is top 5.
Yeah. Somebody said Clowney. See, I would bring Clowney just to mess with Carson Wentz, just to mess with him. You know, just to let him know he's there.
Clowney might knock Wentz out again. That's tight. That would be awesome narrative for the Washington football game or Washington Commanders. Man, it's been great off season, man. Howie's definitely out of everybody's doghouse. He's out of my doghouse for sure. Like,
he's not
out of your doghouse. 500.
500 said he needed to see 3 good drafts. Howie had.
I said after the Devontae Smith draft, I need 3 good drafts. I've gotten 2. Now I'm tempted to do it, but I feel like this. I don't want to say anything too soon to not be able to take it back this fall. Let me see how the season goes. And if we get to the end of the season and it goes, I think it's going to go, I'll do a full apology video.
But that's not you can't do that 500 because he brung the pieces. So if the pieces don't perform or the coach is trash, he brung the pieces.
I'm afraid that you know I'll do it and then he'll do something totally crazy that I can't say nothing.
That's very possible because it is.
I'm just gonna sit back and
brought us the Super Bowl was good enough. And he won Executive GM of the Year already.
Here's the problem. I know people always say Super Bowl, he won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of guys that win Super Bowls, but they don't work at a place 5-6 years after because of something they did 5-6 years ago. This is a do what you do for me now league. So to me, it's great what he did in 2017, but that was 2017. He's got to continue to do it. And it looks like, look, he's doing a great job. I have no complaints with him this offseason at all. But I'm not gonna. Yeah, he did. But I'm not gonna give him a lifelong of passes because we did 2017. It doesn't work that way. At some point, you know, if you're not producing, you got to go. And it looked like he's turned things around. And
now it's not.
And I'm at a truce.
It's Nick Sirianni and his boys.
No, who hired Nick Sirianni?
Our team is way different. I feel like it's a whole nother vibe with Nick.
I do too. I think it's different.
The draft has been different. The free offseason has been different. Everything's kind of been different with these guys. And I think these guys definitely are doing big things over here.
I thought he's done a great job so far, but until we see it on the field, I ain't changing my stance. I gotta stay.
He's still in the doghouse.
I wouldn't say doghouse. I say we're in a truce right now. We're in a truce. You know, we there's no animosity. There's no war. There's nothing. We're what do they call it when a war where they have a where they have a ceasefire or whatever. We're in a truce position right now. That's it.
Yeah,
we're in a truce.
Yeah.
What about you? You out of your doghouse?
I might be ready for an offensive if he does crazy.
He out of my doghouse. I ain't got no problems with Howie Roseman.
I don't really
not at all.
I'm in the doghouse
because this the thing. The thing is this: if the season don't go as planned, it ain't Howie Roseman's fault. You know what I mean? It's one of these coaches' faults, or it's going to be the quarterback fault if the season don't go as planned.
Well, what if Jalen Hurts doesn't work out? What if Jordan Davis isn't good? What if Nakobe Dean is hurt his whole career? Like, are we going to sit there in 4 or 5 years and say this is a good draft?
Talk about that.
You guys
believe that? Who's right, Nakobe Dean or the people that said he was hurt?
Well, I believe Nakobe. I believe Nakobe Dean. I believe Nakobe Dean.
So if nobody produces out of this draft class, Howie Roseman is still not Howie Roseman's fault. He did what we asked for. You're right. You're right. He picked them. I see what you're saying, 500. But he picked them from a championship school. He picked guys that won national championships.
The best defense ever.
He picked the cream of the crop.
I get it, but you still got to hit on your picks. You still, I mean, that's his job. That's not LB's job. That's not Philly 500's job. That's not BIRDGANG. That's his job. We can be wrong. We're allowed to be wrong.
But what do you think about him hitting on his picks? You guys, the Rager pick I know, the JJ pick I know, but those same years he picked good football players. It was later in the draft. It wasn't your top picks, but it were your back end picks that actually are still players to play with us. I can't
be mad at Howie Roseman for going for the guys that were award winners at the collegiate level. If those guys end up busts, I personally just don't think that's Howie Roseman's problem. If they end up being busts, then the cards just wasn't in it for him to get to the next level. But he picking guys that come into this thing with a pedigree.
I like that. I like that they started picking SEC guys instead of like people from USC, UCLA. Like,
nothing wrong with USC.
No, but I like you stay in the SEC and pick teams from champ. I think that's the right way to go. I think Jordan Davis is a stud. I think Nakobe Dean's a stud. I won't fault Howie in that. Hey, listen, I thought the same thing,
right?
But it's still his responsibility.
Hey, shout out to Drew. He said, "I'm looking forward to this defense to be more aggressive. I miss that. I need that. Don't wish harm for anybody, but bones should hurt when they see us next year on the schedule.
They should see us in the nightmares. Nobody should want to play us next year.
No one should want to play us. I think we're a top 4 team. You look at the Rams. They're obviously if you want to put the Bengals there because they got an awesome receiving.
We better than the Bengals.
You think we're better than the Bengals too?
Especially if they use Bates. We got a better roster than the Bengals.
Especially when we get Bates.
Exactly. If they lose Bates, we damn sure got a better roster.
Yeah.
Only thing they'll have.
Their receiving core. Do you think the Bengals receiving core is better than ours?
Yeah,
they're pretty good. I mean,
the
Jamar
Bengals
Chase
got a good
and T.
receiving
Higgins.
core.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase, T. Higgins.
So
it was the third guy too, right? Boyd, Tyler Boyd.
Chase is better than AJ, Quez, and Smith.
Yeah. Right now, yeah.
They better because I say they are because they're all better than Quez. You're only as good as your third guy.
Well, why do you guys hate on Quez so much?
I love
it's Quez. Not hate, it's the truth.
Yeah, 700 yards. And if everybody's correct, he was wide open.
He has 700 yards.
400 yards. Yeah, 6 something, didn't he? I got a real great relationship with Quez. I was one of the guys. Well, somebody brought him to my attention, and I was like, "We need to draft him." Then it ended up happening. So I kind of I kind of sort of predicted him to the Eagles. But just because I love him, I gotta keep it a bean. He ain't better than Tyler Boyd, Jamar Chase, or T. Higgins. He ain't. Maybe he can show us a little something. T. Higgins, you gonna give him that much respect?
T. Higgins is a dog. He just had 1,000 yards, I think, last year.
He's good.
T. Higgins is a dog. T. Higgins is a first-round pick. T. Higgins is a dog. Tyler Boyd is a dog. These guys have all had 1,000-yard seasons before.
That is true.
Yeah, these guys are dogs.
I still think that
T. Higgins had over 1,000 yards last year. Tyler Boyd had over 880 something yards last year. I think, and they've gone to the Super Bowl. I think you have to give it to them at this point.
Yeah, they got a better receiver core. That's about the only position that in safety as of now, until dude is gone, that I can say that. Well, quarterback obviously, but we got everything else.
But listen, they have tons of upside though. I mean, you're talking. We haven't had AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Quez. They haven't played one season together. Wait, let them play, and I think they'll be top 5 at some point. I really do. I think in 2 years, Devontae Smith is the best receiver on this team, and it's not even close.
Better than AJ.
Yeah, because I think Devontae Smith. I said this. Start measuring out his gold jacket because I think he's that kind of guy. Devontae Smith is a stud. And if you put Devontae Smith on the Bengals last year, he'd have the same numbers as Jamar Chase. Was that?
You think he'll overcome the stardom on our team and AJ Brown that we got him on 4 years?
I think in 2 years, Devontae Smith's the best receiver on this team, even over AJ Brown.
The route running is ridiculous. He runs better routes than AJ. He runs better routes than AJ right now. But AJ is that of a Deebo Samuels kind of guy to me.
Absolutely.
You know, the question that's been asked so many times is AJ Brown elite? Is AJ Brown elite? Well, he has elite attributes. He don't go down easy. That's an elite characteristic. So that would make him elite. He's had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, and he's only 24.
And he played in a run-heavy offense that didn't throw the ball out. They didn't throw the ball out.
Who was the last receiver that averaged 20 yards of reception? Because AJ Brown did it since he's been in the league. But I can't find nobody else that averaged 20 yards.
I don't know.
I think he did it last year. Not this year, but last year. He averaged 20 yards of reception on 50-something passing, on 50-something receptions. Everything was damn near a big play. That's what that means. You know what I mean? AJ Brown doesn't need the catch volume. He don't need 80, 90, 100 catches a season to do damage. AJ Brown need a solid 63 catches a year, and he's going to turn that into 1,100 passing yards and 10 touchdowns. That's what we need.
Shout out to you, Robert. He said, we got to cook these Cowboy fans in the chat. Salute to the panel. Much love to you, my guy. Thanks for the $5 super chat. But what you're saying right there, I feel like that's what it is with Quez. Quez don't need 80, 90 catches. His routes that he's running, he's a speed route. Like Deshaun Jackson. Deshaun, how many times did Deshaun really go over 100 catches a year?
Yeah.
He didn't really do it that much.
He never did it.
Yeah, right?
But he's had seasons.
Impact plays. That's why we love Deshaun. That's why I feel like when Quez talked in his press conference, he was like, my role doesn't change. I'm still the same guy. I still got the same role. You know what I'm saying? I believe him when he says it because he's still the speedster out of the three.
He's going to be a deep threat, big play guy. I totally believe that, you know. I think you'll see them move all these guys all over. I think at times you'll see A.J. Brown in the slot, Quez Watkins on the outside. And I don't know how teams are going to deal with it. I really don't. I mean, I think Quez will get his opportunities. But I see Quez as the big threat, you know, big average guy. You know, you need a quick touchdown. I think he's going to be there. He's going to be going up against the third corner a lot of times. So he's going to have a lot of opportunity.
Miles Sanders, does he bounce back this year?
Yes.
And part two to that question, will the Eagles resign him?
Yes and no. Big Greer, breakout year, they're not resigning him. That's what I think.
I think they're going to resign him based upon who they are. You know, we keep guys around like Mac Hollins. I mean, I think they'll resign him and not resign Boston Scott. I think it'll go that way.
I hope so. I like Miles. I like
Miles too.
I do. Even last year, with all the being banged up, no touchdowns, the guy still averaged 5.5 yards a carry. So if he could just stay healthy, I think he's going to have a big year.
You think he does it this year though?
I do.
We've been saying this about Miles the last 2 years.
I think he's going to have over 1,200 yards this year.
Do your thing. Show everybody that you are that dude.
Yeah, I think he has over 1,200 yards. Yeah, he gets hurt. That's been the problem. Yeah, I give him over 1,200 yards on the ground this year. I really believe that.
I mean, that's a lot of big plays. It's very, very likely too. With AJ Brown and Zach Pascal blocking on the outside, it's very likely.
Imagine spreading them out, right? You spread a team out. You have Goddard, you have Quez, You have Devontae, you spread them all out, and then you run the ball. I mean, you're opening spaces up for your run game too with those weapons on the outside.
You're opening up spaces for guys like Mike Lotta and Kelsey and Dickerson to run full steam ahead at linebackers. It all falls on the shoulders of this coaching staff, man. Jalen Hurts can't spread them out. This got to be calls coming from the coaches. Hopefully they learn something, man. This all comes down to coaching, y'all.
Are you guys starting Sayamala at right guard, or are you going to let the rookie Jorgensen win if he can win it out?
I'm going to let the rookie win it. I'm not a big Sayamala guy.
What?
I'm not a big Sayamala guy. I think he's very good in run block. I don't like him in pass blocking. I like him. I like the idea of Sayamala on the bench as my backup because he could play left guard, right guard. He could even play center. I like the idea that if I need him, I can plug him in at anywhere. If I can start Cam Jurgens at right guard, I'm going to do it.
I'm leaving Cam Jurgens right where he at. He need to learn the center position because we're going to need him there next season. But if you got a need at right guard and he's versatile enough, why not?
So you're saying like if Sayamala starts at right guard, guess you're kind of like Landon this year. We were going to keep him at center. But since, Brooks got out, then he went to right guard, then Sayamala was out, we moved him to left guard and let Herbert fill in there. So you're saying like as long as Sayamala's healthy, you're leaving Jurgensen at center. That'll be the backup. I like it, I hear a lot of people say he's not big enough to play guard.
I think he's fine.
You think he's good?
Yeah.
The inside position is the inside position.
I think he's fine. But I'm okay if they feel that he needs to just focus on being at center. I'm totally okay with that too. But we'll see. I'm not a big believer in Sayamala. I'll just say that.
Were you mad that Justin Herbert got let go?
That who?
Justin Herbert.
Herbert.
Oh, Herbig.
Herbig. No, I thought that I didn't like that move. I thought they should.
I liked him at guard.
I did too. I thought he should play. I thought they should have kept him. You can't have too many offensive linemen, But the real question is, what are they going to do with Dillard? Because to me, I think you got to try to trade him. You're not picking up his contract. He could start on another team at left tackle. He can't play right tackle. He can't be moved around. So I would like to see them actually move him.
Said LB, no way AJB is only getting 63 catches. That's 3.7 per game. He gets paid $25 million. Shout out to you, R. Gravy. What you got to say about that, LB?
I mean, I can guarantee you he don't get 70 catches this season.
Oh, you don't think AJ's going to get that many catches?
No, you got to if he gets 63 and Dallas Goedert gets 63 and Devontae Smith gets 63 and Quez Watkins gets 63. Look how many mouths it is to feed. I think AJ will probably lead it in receptions, but you got to spread this thing around.
How many 1,000-yard receivers you think the Eagles going to have this year? 1, 2, 3.
1 for me.
I'm going to say
1
2.
for you. You say 2. I think we're getting 3. I think AJ's going to get 1,000. I think Devontae's going to get 1,000. And I think Dallas Goedert's going to get 1,000.
That's doable.
I think Devontae and AJ get 1,000.
Because you got to spread it out. If you really want Jalen Hurts to be this guy and he upgrades his passing where he's over 4,000 yard passing, who's he throwing the ball to? You know what I'm saying? Like, for him, any quarterback to get that high of numbers, really, the 4 to 4.5, 5,000 yard mark, like you got to have 1,000-yard receivers. And I think
Carson Wentz had 4,000 yards passing without having a receiver get 500 yards.
That doesn't happen very often.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I'm gonna say that Devontae Smith leads the team in receptions,
but not yards
and yards. I think he's gonna lead. He's gonna lead all
Devontae
receivers.
Smith this year is gonna be the lead dog.
Yeah, that's my prediction.
Not too many number twos that can hold him.
And that's not to say that AJ Brown isn't good or isn't going to be. He's going to be awesome for us. But I think Devontae Smith's that good, and I think Devontae Smith against the second corner is a problem for teams. I really do.
I think that's a huge problem.
Yeah,
he was roasting number ones last year as a rookie. And, he struggled with some double teams, but he was roasting number ones. But now you're telling he's going to go against number twos, number threes? For sure, roasting them.
Everybody struggles against bracket coverage. You're just not even supposed to throw that way. You're supposed to go somewhere else when you see that.
So you think AJ's the bona fide number one to the point that Devontae shouldn't ever get bracket coverage this year?
I think teams got to adjust to who's hot. I think we're that dangerous. If Devontae cooking you got to give him bracket coverage and live with what AJ Brown going to do to you. You got to be smart if you're other opposing teams. That's something they got to figure out. I think Devontae Smith should be a hot route almost every damn play. If it don't look right, look and see what Devontae Smith doing because he got a number 2 on him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Eagles quarterback, number 1. Jalen Hurts going to be the number 1 quarterback in the NFCs. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to say yes.
Last season, think about the NFC. There's no quarterback in our division that has a positive record against winning teams, including Dak Prescott. I think he like 18-25. I think Dak Prescott is like 41%. You know what I mean? None of these dudes are scary for real. Carson Wentz, he got issues. You know what I mean? Jalen Hurts is the one who got the hot, who's trending up. Daniel Jones is one of 3 quarterbacks in the National Football League who got a lower QBR than Jalen Hurts, a lower QBR than Jalen Hurts. So it's like this division, quarterback wise, has never been scary to me. And Jalen Hurts is the perfect guy to come out here and show that he's learning and show that he's developing. So I think Jalen Hurts is damn sure going to be the best quarterback in his division this year because he's going to win it.
See, I think that's interesting because Dak Prescott lost. I mean, he lost some weapons this year. You can say what you want, but losing Amari Cooper, Cedric Wilson, Gallup's coming back from an ACL. I don't think you can expect him to be the same. And now everything's kind of falling on CeeDee Lamb. I think Dak is going to take a couple steps back this year. I really do. So I think it's totally possible.
I think you're going to get exposed.
Yeah.
I think you're going to get exposed as somebody who can't really throw the ball like everybody thinks.
Right. I agree.
Right now, if the Eagles keep 5 receivers, what 5 receivers are being on the team?
Whew. So I would say it's got to be Devontae, A.J. Brown, Quez Watkins,
Pascal.
Zach Pascal's 4.
Mm-hmm.
And then that fifth receiver is interesting.
It should go to Greg Ward, but it's going to go to Rager because he's a first-round pick.
Yeah, unfortunately, if Rager Lars on that team, he's going to get it. But I want it to go to Greg Ward. I want Rager off this team so bad.
You think they get rid of him by week 1?
Nah.
Huh? You don't think they're getting rid of him, LB?
I think he's going to go. I think they're going to either try to trade him or cut him. I don't think he can. I don't think he's going to stay on his team. Just look at his attitude. Like, I don't know how he's going to make it, man. I don't know how he's going to make it.
Yeah, you almost got to get him out of here for real. If you got to go into this thing with a clean slate, man. Him and Kayvon Wallace might got to go. We don't need no negative energy.
You don't even like Kayvon?
Nah, man. I don't need none of that negative energy. None of that tweeting. I don't need none of that, man.
Freak Warriors.
If you not congratulating guys coming to the team, I don't need to hear nothing from you. This is all about putting your head down and getting better and bonding with the guys to the left and to the right of you. You're going to battle. You got a target on your back. You got 5 primetime games this year. Woo! 5 primetime games this year. That's a lot, man. A lot of people going to be looking at the Eagles, man. So you shouldn't be on Twitter, man. You should be worrying about how you could beat out Epps because Epps is ahead of you on the depth chart.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Same thing with Rager.
He says, trade Rager for Chuck. That's what we need.
I mean, Baltimore's not going to do that straight up.
You don't think so?
You know what I mean? No. The reason why that trade didn't work out was because Baltimore won something else. That's the only reason. No, they don't want Rager. Who wants Rager? He stinks.
Rager in a second.
You have to do something like that. That's a lot, though.
They'll take Rager in a 4th.
If I'm giving up a second, I'd rather have Bates. If I have to give up a second, give me Bates. He's younger, right? I'd rather have
giving
him.
up anything for another player right now. Or you think the free agents that are available right now is good enough for the Eagles to deal with before the season starts?
We good. I ain't giving up nothing.
I think they're good. I think they're good, but I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to complain if they go out and get like Bates. You know what I mean? But is
Bates still a part of the Bengals?
Yeah, yes. he's a part of it.
Free agent is franchise tag?
No, he got tendered. He's not signing it. He said he ain't signing it. So what are the Bengals going to do if the guy's not going to sign it? What are you going to do?
You either have to sign him or cut him, or trade him.
And they're going to trade him. They're going to trade him. So
what did he's going to go sign a tag?
I think it technically rolls over, but I think teams have gotten to the point where it's like they're like, why bother? If the guy doesn't want to play for us, it's a waste of time. Might as well get something for him.
Yeah, you know? I wouldn't sign it either. Look at Dak. Dak signed his, broke his ankle. He lucky they still paid him.
Right.
I mean, he came back and performed, but that type of stuff can happen.
Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah. Totally. I think that Bates is something to watch. You know, I don't know if I think do I really think the Eagles are going to make a trade? I don't know. I don't know about that, but I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't be surprised if they sign it.
Or bust. Jesse Bates is squad, second safety. Now you literally cannot say one position on our team that needs upgrade. Do you say Super Bowl bust for the Eagles?
I'll say NFC Championship game or bust.
Ooh. I think that's right now. We should already be right there, right?
I feel like for me,
championship with the team we got today.
To me, NFC Championship is like I think best case scenario where Hurts is your long term guy. I think the floor is division, home playoff game, and you win that home playoff game. Like to me, if the Eagles don't do at least that, I'm going to be upset. It's going to be a letdown. If I can get at least that, I feel like we're on the right direction. You know what I mean?
The division has to be at the minimum. You know what I mean? It has to be at the minimum. You don't know. You don't never know what can happen in the playoffs. You know, if you get there and win that playoff game, you got to extend that kid.
Right.
Just think about it. If he gets to the playoffs this year, he's been to the playoffs back-to-back years. Back-to-back years. Right. Who's done that? Nick Foles is like the only one that I know can think of that's done that recently for us. So the sky's the limit for the kid.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you win a division, you get one playoff game at home, and you win that game, you go to the divisional round of playoffs. Okay, if you win that next game, you're in the championship game. So I don't think it's a far stretch to say that they can't make the NFC Championship game because I expect them to win the division. You know, it just takes a few things got to go their way, and I think we're set.
Do you think Davion Taylor? He said, "What are we gonna do with Davion Taylor? What do you guys think?
Great question.
It's gonna be a great rotational piece. I think Davion's good as long as he stays healthy.
I think he got to stay healthy. I think he'll get a lot of special teams reps. And he could be a rotational guy too, though.
He'll be a rotational guy. Yeah, but they're gonna keep him.
Before I get you guys out of here, give me a way too early season prediction.
Way too early? I don't think nothing's way too early. How does roster look? Way too early that the Eagles.
Now, give me your best case scenario for the Eagles this year.
Best case scenario?
I say 14-3, 15-2.
Best case for me, it's 12 wins.
12 only?
What do you mean only? That's gonna win a division and get us a whole playoff game.
We established.
That's a lot of wins.
9 last year with not this roster, and you saying they only gained 3 more games?
That's a lot, man. This the NFL. That's a lot of wins.
Wow.
How many wins did the Packers have? They were the number 1 seed. How many wins did the Packers have?
Didn't the Packers go 14-3?
I think like 14-3. Yeah.
And what about the Titans last year? They were 15-2, right? Or were they?
And what happened to both those teams? They lost in the playoffs.
That's true.
You know, I think realistic 11 wins. I think best case scenario 13. Huh? I think 11 wins realistic. I think it's very realistic. I think 13 wins, best case scenario, and then
15 and 2.
championship.
If it's going to be 15 and 2 or something like that, then the defense got to be the story.
Tell me what game on our schedule
the scariest part of the team.
Worry about losing. That's the question. Because every time I do these schedule release shows, like every time I do it, I say 14 and 3, but I really have to find games that we lose.
Nobody scares me on the schedule. Maybe Green Bay because you're playing Aaron Rodgers, but nobody really scares me on the schedule. But here's the thing. You know that teams, you always lose games you should win, and then you win games you shouldn't win. It always happens to the Eagles every year. We will lose games we had no business losing. It always happens. So I expect to have some like weird things happen. If they go 15 and 2, then they're the number 1 seed. They're going to the Super Bowl because they got home field throughout the playoffs. So if they win 15 and 2, they're home field. I'm thinking between 11 and 13 wins, home playoff game, no bye week, and you win that playoff game, and then you see what happens. You know, anything can happen at that point.
I'm on board. I'm on board with that too. I'm thinking 12 is the minimum. You can win 12 or more for me.
Shout out to Drew. He says, I want what BIRDGANG's smoking. Go Birds. I really feel like our team's good enough, and with the schedule, it's like all the stuff together combined. The talent we added to our roster, Jalen Hurts, developing this year, everything. If you get everything in that bowl and it comes out right, then we should not lose, more than 4 games.
Well, 15 and 2.
We don't even play no elite quarterbacks except for Aaron Rodgers.
If you're right, 15 and 2, home field throughout the playoffs, and you're right. Jalen Hurts probably the MVP.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah. Your schedule is good when Kirk Cousins is like top 3 scary guys you got to go up against.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like our schedule this year is easier than it was last year.
Easier. Right, and you got a defense that could conquer every quarterback on this roster. Kirk Cousins and Kyler Murray and Aaron Rodgers might be the best 3 quarterbacks we play, and I don't think nothing to Kyler Murray.
Facts.
Dak is up there too, but I don't really count that. Yeah,
you got Wentz too. You got to play Wentz.
I don't think Wentz is going to be good anymore, man. I think Wentz.
I don't know. He's
going to be always consistent. All right, like a Ryan Fitzpatrick. Like he's going to consistently be all right. He's going to have good games. He's going to have bad games throughout the rest of his career.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But hey, man, shout out to both of you guys. Much love to you guys. If you have not subscribed to LB or Philly 500, I don't know where you guys are at, because these are 2 best doing it right now on here. Also subscribe to LB's music channel, man. 17 verses lit. You know what I'm saying? Make sure all you guys go check that out, man. Final words for these guys, man. Give the Eagles fans, your final message, for this offseason right now. Round it all up and put it in the bow.
Be optimistic. Be happy with the roster that you got. Don't complain about the quarterback that you got. Hope that he makes the jump. There's a lot of people out here that want him to fail so bad, and you might not ever see a roster like this again in your lifetime. Be optimistic.
I love it. I think people should get behind his team, and I think that best case scenario is Jalen Hurts works out. That's what we want. We want Hurts to be the guy because
it saves us a headache.
It saves us a lot of headaches, and it opens up so much. So we got to hope. And my message to the NFC East, I just think about Rocky 3 and when Mr. T says pain, because that's what's coming their way. Pain. Eagles are going to put some pain on the NFC East this year. I think it's going to be awesome.
Heck yeah, man. I think we're definitely going to dominate this year. I think the East is ours already, and I'm looking more towards championship because I think we got a roster that can do it. So, hey, shout out to Red215 Eagles Philly. He said, what Dak? Whoa, hold on. Where'd it go? There he goes. What Dak record against the Eagles? 3-0? Is that what it is? 3-0?
No. He's lost
What's
a couple
the record against the Eagles? I don't know. I know he beat us the last 2 times.
It's like I want to say it's like 8-3 or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But more importantly, what is Dak's record in the playoffs?
1-3.
1-3. In 7 years, the guy's won 1 playoff game and lost 2 home games.
It wouldn't be a Philadelphia Eagle quarterback. Would have been shipped his ass out of here.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah. But Eagles, be on the lookout. The Eagles are about to do some damage this year. You know what I'm saying? I really feel like we're going to be one of the best teams in the league. You know, it's not a rebuild. It's a retooling, like how we said. And he definitely retooled this offseason. So I still think there's one more big move out there. I don't know when it's going to come. We have too much time before the first game for him to think.
A lot of time.
Make another splash. You know, and if he gets to Jesse Bates, it's even more confident. You know, then I'm really going to be preaching Super Bowl every single show. So we'll see what he does. Thank you guys for coming on my platform.
Thank you, man.
Thank you guys. You know,
thank you for having
us. Building. Salute to you guys. Let everybody know where they can find you at.
At Lord_Brunson, all social media platforms, Lord Brunson on YouTube, and probably in the description of this video.
Facts, and definitely description and inside the chat.
Type in Philly 500, you will find me. That's just the easiest way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, much love to you guys. Like I always say, fly Eagles, fly. Till next time, we out.
All right. Good night, guys.
Peace.